If you want to be successful at anything in life, you first need to establish what you are trying to achieve. In other words, you need to know what your purpose is with any specific task. And the same is true of marriage or of a long-term relationship. The chances of a happy or successful marriage or relationship will be much higher if you know what your purpose is or what you want to achieve. And therefore, here's my question. What is the purpose of marriage? Is it to find a soulmate? Is it to have fun? Is it maybe to start a family? Now, friends, marriage is indeed intended for all these reasons, but it's also so much more than that. In fact, one of the main purposes of marriage, if not the main purpose, is intimacy. Now, when people hear this word, the first thing that usually comes to mind is sex or the sexual part of the relationship. And although sexuality is part of intimacy, it's so much more than that. Let me give you a definition of intimacy. Intimacy is acceptance without the fear of rejection. Intimacy means that you have a closeness, a togetherness in your relationship, an atmosphere of warmth and of safety, and a space where you can be yourself because you are accepted for who you are. And therefore, intimacy is not only a physical state, it also has an emotional and intellectual and a spiritual dimension. Intimacy is when two people are really together and connect emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and physically with each other. What you may have already discovered in your relationship is that the higher the level of intimacy in your marriage, the healthier, the happier, and the more successful your marriage will be. The less intimacy you have, the harder it will be to have a healthy or successful marriage or relationship. And therefore, one of the most important questions you need to ask yourself on a regular basis is this: are we currently growing closer to each other or further apart? Friends, it's time for your homework. Here's the action you need to do to help you determine where you are right now in terms of the intimacy in your marriage. Please complete the following exercise. So you copy this illustration and you tick the box which describes where you are currently in each of these categories in your marriage: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. And once you've completed this exercise, draw this diagram on your notes. Once you've done this, mark your relationship in general on a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 is having no hope for the future at all, where you are at a point of giving up, and 100 is where you have never been so happy in your relationship before. Friends, you can pause the video at any time to complete the exercises first. When you look at the result of these exercises, would you say that you are currently growing closer to each other? Or do you feel you are drifting apart? If you're not quite where you want to be, don't lose heart. Determining where you currently are is always the first step in improving any aspect of life, including your relationship. And therefore commit to doing whatever it takes to improve your relationship and to build greater intimacy into your relationship, which, by the way, is something we'll discuss in the next session.